UFC 298, we have a new UFC featherweight champion. Ilia Topuria defeats Alexander Volkanovski in the second round by knockout. It was a great card. We had some really, really good fights on it. I'm going to be going through every fight, just recapping how it went down and going through my bets. It was another profitable night. Not perfect, but we still managed to come away with a profit again. So let's keep it going. I'm going to go through all my bets and all the fights. Let's start it out with the first fight of the night. We had Miranda Maverick taking on Andrea Lee. This was a good fight. Went pretty how I expected it, except Andrea Lee was able to suplex Miranda Maverick at one point. Didn't see that coming. I mean, she actually has some surprisingly good takedowns, but I didn't really see that happening. Overall, though, Miranda Maverick was able to land some decent shots in the feet, mix in some grappling, win the fight pretty clearly, 2-1 in my opinion. Came back after a kind of a shaky first round, was able to kind of take over. Good fight, not the most exciting, but a solid fight. Next up, we had Oban Elliott taking on Val Woodburn. Oban Elliott clips him with a head kick in the first round and then goes to finish him. Val Woodburn clips him, almost finishes him. And then Oban Elliott starts using his grappling, takes over that rest of that round, takes over the second round. Then in the third round, Val Woodburn clips him again, almost finishes him that time, but did have him hurt. So Val had his moments. It was a much better showing, of course, than up a weight class short notice against Bo Nickel. But still not what he was looking for, obviously. Oban Elliott able to win the decision. We move on to the next fight. We had Danny Barlow taking on Josh Quinlan. Danny Barlow looked good, man. This guy came in 7-0, climbs to 8-0. Tough fight for Josh, man. He did show he is tough as hell. He's got a chin on him, but eventually Barlow was able to finish him. You got to cut that thing on the back of your head. That's all I'm going to say about that. That thing is just weird. Couldn't stop looking at it. But, man, this dude's got power. I was surprised Josh survived as long as he could. But at the end, it was just, it got really bad. But, yeah, shout out to Danny Barlow, man. This dude's legit. We'll see if he can, I mean, he's big for the weight class. We'll see if he can continue to make the weight okay. And, I mean, if he can work on that grappling, that takedown defense, he could definitely be good. Josh didn't really come out here and shoot takedowns. He stood with them. I don't think he felt confident to get the takedown, so he was kind of stuck on the feet with a much better striker with much more power. Speaking of power, though, Ming Yang Zhang knocks out Brinson Ribeiro in the first round. It was crazy. It was like an eye poke, and then Zhang's like, oh, you don't want to give me a timeout? Okay, boop, boop. Puts him out. We knew someone was going to sleep in the first round. I did lean Ribeiro, but I was not confident in it. I actually did not bet any of these first four fights. But that was the first pick I got wrong. But I mean, I told y'all that was a coin toss. Least favorite, or least confident in that pick out of the four. But next up, we had Rinya Nakamura. Man, I made this last bet right before the card starts, and now I'm kicking myself. I really stayed off of it because the line was so crazy, but I was like, man, he is minus 1,200 for a reason. I do think he has advantages every single where in this fight. So, inside the distance, minus 175. What could go wrong? And then, he breaks his hand. Vera's got a popped out shoulder, and they end up just playing jiu-jitsu for 3 rounds. It was pretty frustrating to watch, but didn't cash that. First bet of the card didn't go my way, but I really try to not do those last second bets, but especially, unless it's like some long shot, third round. I've been killing it on the big props, but, kind of kicking myself for that bet, but because, I stayed off it so well, and then I just feel like I was like, oh, I want some more action on these early fights. Anyways, whatever. Rinya dominantly won. Vera had a couple decent moments, but overall, man, you're not going to win a lot of fights in the UFC with that game plan, just trying to find leg locks off your back. Moving on to the next fight, man. Man, we saw the calf kick come out from Rogério de Lima. Clipped Tafa right in the second exchange with a calf kick. Immediately hurt his calf. Then just stayed on it. Mixed in some some takedowns, some ground and pound. People are like, why is he shooting takedowns? Because he knows if he gets him down, it's going to be the only chance Junior Tafa had was to land a shot. But his power was taken away because he couldn't plant off his feet. So, great fight from De Lima. He showed he's really versatile at the division. Solid ground game, decent enough wrestling, good calf kicks, good striking. Usually pretty durable. So great win by DeLima, honestly. Did exactly what he should do. And then we move on to my next bet. Amanda Lemos, I'd bet her minus 130. So you could call me biased. I know a lot of people are saying this fight was close, but it was close. But I thought Amanda Lemos won the first round with the damage. Mackenzie Dern was able to take her down. Mackenzie Dern showed she's not just a pretty face, man. She's tough as hell. Obviously, we know she got the jiu-jitsu, but the wrestling's not great. The striking's not great. But she did sit Amanda Lemos down at one point. She does throw those wild overhands, and she clipped Lemos with one and hurt her. But overall, it was Lemos with the calf kick again. The calf kicks were out tonight. They were really messing people up. Even Danny Barlow threw a couple. On the early fights, you didn't see it as much. Couple from the girls in the opening fight, but this main card, the end of the prelims to the main card was all about them calf kicks in a lot of the fights. But Amanda Lemos destroyed her calf, had it hurt very early, then landed some big shots to the feet, broke her nose. I thought she broke her orbital, but I guess not. Mackenzie Dern goes down, just holding her face. The ref could have stopped it there in the second round, but Dern works her way back into the fight and has a good third round. I thought she probably won the third. Lemos definitely won the second, and then the first was close enough, but I thought Lemos won on damage, so thought Lemos won the fight. It seems like most people do. Some people out there saying they thought Dern won, but I don't agree with that. So Lemos cashes minus 130, and we move on to the next fight. Another bet. We took Anthony Hernandez minus 166 over Roman Kopylov. Now, I'm not going to lie. Those first couple takedowns got stuffed. I wasn't panicking because I was like, this is kind of normal. Hernandez is like mini Kane. He's got to wear on you with his pace, with his pressure, his good cardio, his great cardio. And Kopylov tends to slow down. So I'm like, it's okay as long as he can stay safe. But he did eat some big body kicks. A couple of them head kicks were coming close. He ate a couple leg kicks. Roman Kopylov was throwing some punches to the body as well. But Hernandez was getting his licks in too. And towards the end of the first, he landed some good shots on the feet. And it did seem like Kopylov might start to be slowing down a little bit. Sure enough, in that second round, I actually picked Hernandez second round sub. You just saw him start to take over, man. The pace, he started getting in on that leg a little bit more. Even when he failed to take down early, I was like, oh, I think he's going to start taking over. And sure enough, rips him to the ground, takes his back, and you can just see it in his face. He starts smiling and like talking shit to the camera a little bit. He knew he had the rear naked choke there. Finishes him. Respect to Kopylov. Dude's fun to watch. He was on a hell of a streak. I still think he'll be back. Anthony Hernandez is just legit, man. Gonna be giving him a big step up, I think. I mean, Kopylov is a tough fight, but I'd be down for that Ikram rebooking. But we'll see how it goes. I want to see him against somebody good, though. Even better, I should say. But next fight, man, we had Merab versus Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo came out in that first round, man. He came out hot. Landed a good shot that rocked Merab. But then in that second, man, I don't remember when Merab threw that kick and then Cejudo blocked it. I think that's what it was. And then you saw Cejudo over the fight, just that forearm was out to here. He had a freaking huge just welt on his forearm. Man, he's tough as hell for fighting through it. I knew it was going to be really tough to finish Cejudo. There was a couple points in the second. Merab had a guillotine and was just looking out, talking to Zuckerberg, which was weird, who we'll be mentioning again later. And then in the third round, he picks Henry Cejudo, Olympic gold medalist in wrestling, up, runs him over to Zuck, slams him. Pretty crazy to see, but he was gassed. He was hurt. He had a probably broken arm. And Merab he's a tank, man. He doesn't slow down. He is a marauder. So he wins the fight, unanimous decision. It was weird. I mean, Aljo was with him, but I guess he's thinking about moving to Syndicate, and he was talking about, maybe he's just saying this because Dana's trying to hold this against him, but he's like, if we got to fight, we got to fight, basically, about Aljo, as Aljo's right next to him. Kind of awkward, but whatever. I doubt they will. I think Aljo's going to stick at 45, but we'll see. I don't really want to see them fight, to be honest, but I don't think they will. Next up, though, we had Ian Gary versus Jeff Neal. Didn't bet on this next one. Oh, by the way, did have Merab by decision, minus 115, so that cashed. Hernandez cashed. Lemos cashed. And we move on to Gary versus Neal. No bet on this fight. Did pick Neal as an underdog, and this would be the second fight on the card that I picked wrong. I picked 3 out of the 12 wrong. Um, and yeah, I mean, I took a shot on Jeff Neal. I knew it would be close. I thought Jeff Neal could maybe either clip him in one of these exchanges or just land the better shots over the course of the decision. But I knew if it was close, they'd give it to Gary. But then again, I thought Gary won. I wouldn't have. I thought it was very close, but I thought the first round with the Neal, and my God, the commentating. I'm never one to badmouth I love all 3 of those guys, but my God, they were doing backflips on it, bro. They were doing tricks on it. Like, Gary striking is good, but my God, like, Jeff Neal won that first round, and like, even if he didn't, it was so close, and they're just like, Gary would miss a knee, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, the high level strike!" Like, don't get me wrong, not every strike has to land, but I'm like, he'd literally miss a strike, and they'd be like, "Oh man, Neal's in trouble here," or Neal would like, he was winning the first, and man, Neal's got to do something to earn some respect. I'm like, I know it's tough to see it in person sometimes, like you got a better view from the house, but my God, man, the commentating was off on that fight. Like, it was bad. And maybe they're trying to overcompensate because they're like, okay, everybody's bad-mouthing Gary. Let's make sure we don't seem like we're slandering him. Maybe it's a little bit of that because that does happen sometimes. But the commentating was off, dude. I don't care. Like, people will be like, oh, it's just because you don't like Gary. No, I'm telling you the commentary was off. Like, listen to the first round and tell me, like, you would think Jeff Neal was getting battered. You would think it was not Jeff Neal, but Neil Magny in there. The way that his fight went with Gary. But overall, I'm cool with the Gary decision. I thought the first round was clearly Neal. The third round was definitely Gary. Neal just didn't do enough. The second round could have went either way, man. That's why I was like, the glazing. They're like, Neal's got to do something here. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't even knock you if you had Neal up 2-0. Like, what are you talking about? But overall, cool with the Gary decision. You know, some of the things that the crowd was chanting during the broadcast was wild. Dude's been going through it, but hey, at the end of the day, man, is his style the most friendly to me? No, people give Merab shit, but I would rather watch somebody like Merab who's just pace pressure, just going to come forward and swarm you, over like Gary just circling around the outside. And they're like, Jeff Neal's clinching. It's like, yeah, he's trying. Every time he gets him to the cage, Gary bails out, which, hey, fair enough. Like, it's fair game, but so Jeff Neal's trying to clinch him and like, yo, I'm not letting you escape out the back door again. But, overall, like that, Gary just like sticking and moving for 15 minutes. It was definitely the worst fight on the main card, but hey, he got it done. Congrats to him. I'm cool with the decision. Co-main event, man. Rob starts out strong, landing good low kicks. Paulo was landing some low kicks of his own, and he's such a huge, powerful guy that, some of them did get a reaction, but overall, Rob just had more weapons, man. Good. He kept throwing this like right hand over the top, and then like this weird like shuffle punch uppercut. He was throwing some interesting combinations that were getting through Paulo's guard. But man, Paulo's so durable, man. He's tough as hell, and he was eating these calf kicks, eating that same right hand, left hook, left uppercut combo. And just left hooks in general, man. Rob did have a speed advantage, and he would leap in with this left hook over and over. Just kept clipping him. Good jabs. But then at the end of the first round, Costa throws that spinning wheel kick, catches Rob right in the chin. Oh, Rob doesn't have a chin, but he eats a freaking wheel kick from Paulo Costa right on the chin. Most of the division would have been knocked out. It's not his chin. So just his striking defense isn't always the best. I'm not saying he's got the best chin in the game, but he doesn't have a bad chin, man. People over or underestimate his chin. I was like, let me open up that tweet, by the way. But, Rob, overall, just a better fighter. Took over, won the fight. I think he dominated most of the fight. Not dominated might be putting it strong, but won clearly. It's just, Costa had a couple good moments, especially the end of that first. Did he steal the first with that? Maybe, maybe not. It's a matter of perspective. But, Rob the clear winner. So I cashed Rob by decision, plus 130. And we move on to the main event. We had Ilia Topuria taking on Alexander Volkanovski. And like I said, man, we have a new champ. Volk looked good. I think pretty much everybody scored the first round for him. He was throwing the kicks high. He was throwing the kicks to the body. He was throwing them low. he was doing well with that. He was scaring me. Like I was saying, like I was watching it fights with my team and my coach, and I was like, man, he's getting me nervous the way he's like exiting range with his chin up and his hands out a little bit. And man, sure enough, Topuria. I thought Alex was winning the second round. And kind of looked like, he was definitely in control, but again, like I was never feeling safe. I was like, ugh, he's there to be hit on some of these exchanges. And Topuria, it wasn't like he's just throwing punches wild. Like he set it up. So none of this was luck, man. He got Volk to the end of the cage. Volk knew going into it that he needed to stay off that cage. He got caught at the cage, and Topuria goes low, goes back up high, and he catches Volk with a square. His feet were squared. He was changing stances. It was a bad timing to get clipped, and it was a big shot. And Topuria's got big power. And people will say Volk doesn't have a chin, but like again, people are so quick to say that. Volk just got clipped, man. Topuria, you're taking away from Topuria's win and his power when you say, oh, it's because he just got knocked out. I mean, it doesn't help, but I don't know if it makes a difference, man. I mean, maybe Max. Nobody else in that division's taking that punch. Like, that shot with the squared shoulders like that, just directly on the chin, just snapped his whole head back. Topuria and knew, and, respect to him. I didn't love some of the pre-fight stuff, but at the end of the day, man, like I said, I'm sure he doesn't believe some of that stuff. He just has to sell the fight. And also we knew if Volk was going to lose, it was going to be probably an early knockout. Like I said, first or second round knockout. If Volk gets out of those rounds, and the crazy thing is, I thought he won. Well, you can't say he won the second, but he was winning the second, and he won the first. The later rounds where he was going to start to take over, but it's just a matter of can he stay safe, and he couldn't. And again, that doesn't mean it was lucky. There was nothing lucky about that knockout. It was high-level boxing, good footwork. He wasn't following. He was cutting him off, and he cut him off, and he landed the shot that he needed to and put him away. So respect to the new champion, Ilia Topuria. Dude's going to be a problem. I think he's got some fun matchups. I know he doesn't want to fight Max. I still think Max, again, on paper, is a worse matchup for him than Volk. I would be more confident, unless he's coming off a brutal knockout from Justin Gaethje. But it almost sucks that he has that matchup, even though the BMF fight's cool. But if you're in Max's corner, it's almost like, oh, cough, cough, he's sick, even though Max would never do that. Because the Topuria matchup, I think, favors him more. Again, not taking anything away from Topuria, but I think pretty much everybody but Max, I would pick Topuria against. But that being said, man, like Topuria's style, it's so aggressive and it produces so many finishes because he's so aggressive and takes so many chances that I wouldn't be shocked if Yair or somebody could clip him, could finish him. That's just a testament to the chance he takes, the chances he takes and the style he presents. But however long this reign lasts, man, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. He's a very fun fighter to watch, very good and dangerous. So respect to him, and respect to anybody bet him. I missed that bet. I had Volk minus 110, so I did lose that. But overall, good betting cards, profit, and good with the picks, and fun fights to watch for the most part. Hope you guys won money. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be right back at it for next Saturday, so I'll catch you guys there. I'm going to think my video will be out Tuesday night, so I'll catch you then. Appreciate you watching. Leave a like on the video. Comment. Let me know your favorite fight, any bets you hit, any bets you lost. What you think about Topuria being the champ, who you want to see him fight next. I will catch you guys later, man. Thanks for watching. Peace.